Me, they saw, when they saw my paycheck, they saw a money bank. Hello. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. I just got off of work, so I'm like tired, but I just feel like I need to get this story out to you guys. And you guys are my therapy. But anyway, I'm just going to go into it. This is called the Nightmare Apartment. The Nightmare Apartment. Like, I'm telling you, I cannot make these things up. I mean, and sometimes, we make bad choices. And I'm telling you, with this apartment, I made a bad decision, okay? And the decision was based on looks. I'm gonna insert a picture and everything and show you how nice this apartment was. But it had so many problems on the inside. Once I got on the inside, it was like it became a nightmare. So to start off with it, it's gonna be like 2 parts. I'm just gonna split it, and you can watch one and then you can watch, the other. Or maybe I'll just make it a full one, and you decide you want to watch it, you can watch it. So what happened was I lost my house, right? I lost my house. I was told I had 2 months to move. Now, I have been at this house for like 5 years. We were so happy there. We were very happy there. So I started looking at another place, in a different place where I wanted to move. And like literally right on time, we had got a place. Like right on time. It was like we had to move. 2 months was not a lot of time, especially if you wasn't prepared for it. It just like came out the blue. So we moved to my daughter's apartment. This is my daughter's apartment. She's the older one. She's the 27-year-old one, right? So we moved there, and my daughter, she just, like I taught her, but she's just her, So I'm just like, what, let me get a place for me and my other daughter, which was the 12-year-old. All the rest of my kids are older. Like I have a 27 and a 23-year-old. So I have grown children. So I go and I look at this place, and like I knew nothing about where I was. You know what I mean? Like I just like I was so ignorant, because at one place I stayed for 21 years, and then at another place I stayed for about 5 years. So that was my life, So I didn't know about slumlords. I didn't know about, like, I was so naive. So I go and I look at this place, and like I said, I'm going to insert a picture. Like, this place was so nice. Like, it had the biggest, hugest living room, 2-bedroom. It was like everything for me and my younger one. So I'm pondering and thinking about it, and just like trying to make the right decision. And I felt that intuition. Trust your intuition. I felt like I needed to pick something that was cheaper, that was, that the rent was going to be less than what I was going to have to pay, right? So I'm like, I could swing it, da 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 da, because I was so enthralled with the place. It had like a older look to it. It had like it was just nice. It was just nice. Or so I thought. So we about to get into it. So she calls me back, like they're not pesting me, but they were just like, oh, do you want it? Da 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 da. Just like they wanted to know if I wanted the place. And then I kept thinking about it, kept thinking about it. And like I said, I have felt that little voice was just like, get something cheaper. But I was just like, I loved it. I love this place. And so what ends up happening is she calls me. She's like, we have somebody else that's going to be looking at it. That was when I made the decision that I was going to get the place. That was when I made the decision. And y'all, yeah, I went through with it. I got it. And I moved in. And my daughter was staying with me. And it was nice for a little bit. When we first got there, one of the neighbors had greeted us. And she was like, she was like, if you need anything, I've been living here for 5 years, da da da, you can come to me, da da da, and lo and behold, that was just the beginning of my troubles. Okay. Now my daughter, she was like, Mom, there's something not right there. My daughter, she's good at, like, she will, like, pinpoint you out. And I was just pondering, because when she speaks and I listen, I'm like, what does she pick up? So we're in the place, and this is when it all begins. So we move, I moved. Well, I'm just gonna skip to when I moved in. My daughter was there. She was spending the night. Things were going okay, and then all of a sudden, I seen that my daughter was on point about there was something wrong with the person that had approached me. Okay. So what happened was, the first time that I realized that there was something wrong is she was upstairs. Came to find out, her daughter lived on top of me. And she was upstairs, and I heard her one day. I had to go to work. And she's like laughing. But she was like laughing like an evil laugh. Like, I can't even explain it. Like an evil laugh. And I just picked up, my antennas went up, and I'm like, beep, 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 beep. And it's like, I seen like she was not who she posed to be. She was not. Like, she just had, her energy was off. Like, it was an evil laugh. Like, it was like one of those like one of those creepy movies. Like you just feel like the energy of the creepy movie. That's how her energy was, right? So, after that, I just started realizing that I think I made a big mistake. I think I made a big mistake because everything started going downhill. Like literally, I had a toilet that I think like the first week we were there overflowed, flooded, okay, flooded, okay, and that was awful. That was awful. That took me like maybe like 2 hours to clean up. That toilet was so old. And even to this day, I'm about to move out. Even to this day, that toilet leaks at the back. I called them to come and fix it. She said it was fixed. It still leaks at the back. I basically, I'm in and out. I really don't stay there. I was just waiting for my lease to run out, and then I was moving on. So, not only that, what happens is I get my packages delivered. Now, I work nights, but I was working, and then I was spending a lot of time over my daughter's house. Like I would come back to the crib, but I wouldn't spend a lot of time there. But I would spend time there, because I had my Wi-Fi at the time or whatnot, and I did disconnect that after a while, but I started having packages, because I was getting everything in order. I was like, I had bought my daughter her bed. Like, I was so excited about being here, y'all. Like, I was so excited, and so they started stealing my packages. Like, when I wasn't there, they started, like, they took my perfume, they took my bedding, and they left the box there. Like, they were shiesty. They were shiesty. I mean, it didn't matter what it was. They would take whatever I was getting sent to the house. And because mind you, I was working a lot. And then I would spend time over my daughter's house, and then I would come back to my house. And then I would come back to, like there would be times that I would leave again, like I was up and I was not, I did not stay in one place. I was just always moving around. And I know it was them. Because the way that my place is, there's like in the front, there's like a big, huge tree. I mean, like, you cannot see my apartment. The tree blocks my place. So for somebody to come on the streets and continuously, because my packages were coming different days, for them to continuously come and steal my packages, they had to be watching my place. So not only that was happening, I was getting complaints about parking. I mean, every single week I had a new complaint about parking, and I was hardly there. I was hardly there in the house. I was in and out. And my daughter, when she was hanging out there, she would park in my spot. So it got to the point that with the parking, because of the complaints all the time, all the time. And they specifically named my apartment. And I have my apartment actually said the name 907. Well, yeah, it said 907. And it said my apartment number. And I mean, always complaining, literally always complaining, to the point that they literally got us, like those parking tags. It got that bad that they were always complaining. I mean, it was just awful. Awful. Okay. So, not only that happened, she had a dog. She had a dog. And there's nothing wrong with having a dog as long as you clean up behind your dog. And you don't be putting your dog mess on somebody else's steps. So I don't know how it got there, but they were putting dog mess on my back steps. So when I walk up my back steps, guess what? There was dog mess there. How did dog mess get on my back steps? So, I mean, it was always something. It was always something. And I was barely there. I was in and out. I was working all the time. And I don't know if it was, like, I felt like in my intuition, in my energy, in my spirit, I felt like they were the type of people that, you know how like some people like you could go to and you could reason with, you could talk to them and be like, I don't like this and this, or you could talk about issues, you could talk about problems, whatever. You could talk about things. These were the type of people that these were the most ghetto of the ghettoists, okay? These were people that, you would come to them with a cake, and as soon as you walk out, they're stabbing you in your back. Literally. Okay, these were dangerous people. I moved in with dangerous people. Dangerous people. And so I got cameras, and you could see them. You could see them like literally, like on my cameras, you could see them like literally, like there would be times that I'm looking at my cameras, and I don't know if this is before they found out that I had cameras, but they were always watching to see what I was getting what I was getting or whatever. Like what was like they were watching, like they would walk past, and the thing is how the porch is, their place was like it would be like, okay, my place would be like on the left, so their place would be like on the right, so they would have to walk, and they didn't have to, but they did. They would walk on my property, on my space, and then walk around. So they would literally walk right in front of my door and then walk around. That's what they would do. So, trying to think, there's something else that happened. Oh, and not only that. Okay, when I had complained about them stealing my packages, like those people in the office, they were so wicked. They did not give a darn about me. All they cared about is you gonna pay us? You gonna pay us? You gonna pay us the rent? You gonna make sure we have the rent every month, right? That's all they cared about. They will always get smart with me. Every time I called about something, oh, well, in your lease, they will always refer back to the lease. Well, your lease says this, or your lease says that. Or, you know, like they would always throw that lease in my face. And then when I had called about what was happening when they were taking my packages and stuff, she was like, that's a police matter. Like, real nasty. Like, real nasty. Like, they had no love for me, like, whatsoever. And then, not only that, they were, like, she knew everything. They were conferring back. They would know when I was in the place, when I came back to my place. Like, they would know. The office would know. Like, that's the kind of relationship that they had. Like, they knew everything. They knew when I was there, when I wasn't there. Because she literally was watching my place like a hawk. I mean, watching. Now, when I got the cameras, there's another way that I know that it wasn't other people. The stealing stopped. They stopped stealing my stuff. So my stuff was coming to my crib. But I ended up stopping all that regardless. Because I still did not want to take any chances. But they knew I had a camera. She knew I had a camera. She knew it. I had a camera in the front and I had a camera in the back. And that's what the lady had told me. Like, no, she didn't tell me. I told her that I was getting a camera. She was like, oh, that's fine. I know it's fine. But them in that office, they were in cahoots with her upstairs. So they knew, it's like they were watching my every move. My every move they was watching. So not only that, I got mold. There's black mold. I sent them pictures of everything that was going wrong in that apartment. I would send them pictures. Everything. I'm going to put a picture in here and show y'all the ceiling. The ceiling. Like, there's something in the wall. And they had their maintenance man so-called fixed it. Because even the lady called me. She's like, oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. But they just covered it up. They just covered it up. So, like, they don't care nothing. Like, this is, like, one of the worst places that I've ever lived. This is, like, one of them. One of them. Because the place that I lived for 21 years, I'm going to say it was wonderful. But there was ups and downs when new management came in. So I had my issues there. When new management was in there. And then, you know, it depends on who's moving in and who's moving out. You know, what kind of problems you're going to have. Because some people, they don't clean. They don't take care of their place. They invite, you know, bugs and stuff like that. If you guys, I have a story on that. So you can go back and listen to that story if you want to. But they have made my life miserable. They have made my life miserable in that apartment. There was no peace for me in that apartment. There was no peace for me. They were watching my coming in, my going out. They were watching everything. Everything that I did. They were complaining about whatever they could complain about. Whatever they could find against me, they were complaining about. And I was quiet. I abided by the rules. I did everything that I was supposed to do. And, you know, this was like one of the worst. And came to find out, the mom lives on top of the daughter, and the daughter lives on top of me. And you could tell, like, you could look at these people, oh my goodness, and you could feel the energy They're like the lowest of the low. And I'm not saying this just to be mean or cruel or anything. But these are people that you just do not want to be around. These are people that you do not want to be around, because all they want to do is be in your business so they could talk about you, so they could put you out there, so they could make it seem like you're this and you're that, you know. And that's the thing too. She got mad because I wasn't asking her for things. I wasn't going to her house. I wasn't, calling her. I wasn't, communicating with her, because I felt your spirit. I felt your spirit. I felt your energy. I didn't want your bad energy. And I know, and I believe that there's such things as monitoring spirits. And I just felt like she just wanted to know my business so that she can. That's what I felt that she wanted. She just wanted to know what I was doing, who I was doing, how I was doing it, when I was doing it. She didn't care nothing about me. She just cared about what kind of information that she can gather from my life. And it just goes to show that it was true because of everything that happened. Everything that happened there. And I was only there for a year. That's it. I up and jetted. I'm up and out of there. So I'm just so grateful that I made it through that, and that I was able to spend a lot of time. I like I said, every once in a while, like I go back and forth, but I spend a lot of time at my daughter's house, because of how everything was going over there. I don't even have like I complain about the toilet and they say it's fixed. Like those people are so like they didn't care about me. They didn't care. They didn't have one care in the world about me. Not one care. It was just like they saw me. They saw when they saw my paycheck, they saw a money bank. They're like, yeah. She'll pay the bill. She'll pay the bill. So I mean, I feel like the moral of the story is like, looks are deceiving. Looks are deceiving. And what was so funny, I looked at nice places to live in where I'm at, and the street was like when I had called about I forgot what issue it was, but she was like, yeah, you should have did your research. Like, they were always nasty to me. In that office, they were always nasty to me. Every time I called, they were always nasty to me. Always had a nasty comment. Always had a nasty comment. Like and the thing is, I should have, took the cues. I should have took the cues, but I just didn't. I was so naive. And not only that, like, those people, they're trifling. They, like, in the back, like, I'm gonna put a picture. And the trash is like up against my window. Like, they, instead of putting the trash inside of the trash bins, they put the trash all over. Oh, I think it was the owner that was literally coming to pick up the trash and put it inside of the bins. Like, how trifling can you be? I don't know if this is more of a rant or what, but like I said, this is therapy. But I just feel like I learned so many valuable lessons, and I feel like I should have been like more, like I was so like, I was so in love with the appearance, But once you get in, Once I got in, it became a nightmare. It became a nightmare. Like even when I stopped sending mail to that apartment, but even before I stopped, and even though I had the camera, I still was like I would be sleeping over there, getting ready for my shift, and I literally had to jump out of my sleep to make sure that my packet that I was getting my package. I was getting my packages. So it was just a terrible experience. It was a terrible experience. And now, like, inside the walls, there's moisture, because that's how, you know, the black mold is able to, you know, is thriving. And like you could just tell like something's happening inside the wall, and like they just covering things up. You know, they're not going to the root and fixing it. They're not having a professional, you know, they have this secondhand person that's coming in fixing this place, but really don't have the skills that it's taking to fix to fix the leak. You know, like, I mean, it's awful. You would look at it, it's terrible. Terrible. So, like I said, I'm gonna get ready to end this video. I mean, this one was a little longer, but I wanted to. This place, a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. You know, these people, they watched everything, listened to everything. Like, they knew when I was there, and they knew when I wasn't. They know it's like constantly, like constant monitoring, constant, like to the point that I just, like, I'm hardly there anymore. But yeah, and I know some people are like, oh, why you let them? I mean, when you go home, don't you want to live in peace? Don't you want to have peace when you lay your head? You know, if you're going home and you don't have peace where you lay your head, you're not going to want to be there. So, like I said, I mean, I learned a lesson. I learned a valuable lesson. And, you know, and you guys could comment down below, like, what's like one of the, like, I want to ask a question, like, what's like one of the, I'm going to say, like, a terrible mistake that you had to pay for, and I paid a lot of rent, you guys, like, they really milked me. They played me like a fiddle, okay? You know, they made that apartment like it was fire. The inside was nice, but when you got to the root, it was decrepit, old and decrepit. And then, oh, I forgot to tell y'all this before I end it. About the heating. Oh my goodness. We tried to stay in there during the winter time. Those heaters, I had those heaters running for a short amount of time. I think it was a whole week. And my bill shot up so high. It was those, I don't know, though. I think it was the electric heaters. The little heaters that are down on the baseboard. Those heaters sucked. Okay? They reeked. We wasn't warm. We had to warm ourselves by the oven. And I called the office. And because I had my daughter there, my 12-year-old. And so we're freezing. We were freezing during the winter time. We was freezing. And that's when I moved in, during the winter time. And that how we heated the house was by the oven. And she sent somebody out, and let me tell you, she sent somebody out, and this guy came in, and he asked if he could use the bathroom. We thought he was just gonna go pee. That disgusting guy went in there and took a dump in my apartment. And this was the first time that you were ever in my apartment. You disgusting, trifling man. My son's laughing.
I didn't hear that one.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. Ask Kima about it. Excuse me, y'all. And then we called, right? Well, no. I get an extra... They added an extra 100 or so to my bill. Because they came out because I was complaining that we were cold and we needed the proper heating. We needed help with the heating. And he checked everything. Oh, everything works. Came to find out, she told me after I had to pay extra than what I'm already paying on top of my rent. She said, you have to turn on every single last one for it to work. And I said, if I turn on every single last one, do you know how much my bill is going to be, my electric bill? Do you know how much I'm going to pay? I'm telling you, the worst. I am waiting until because I'm already in the process of packing up my stuff and stuff like that. But as soon as that is done, I am leaving them the worst review they have ever known to man. Okay. Bubba. They're going to have the worst review ever. Ever. I'm going to write a long one, and I'm going to warn everybody that deals with them. That's all they care about is your bucks. That's it. That's all they cared about. They did not give a darn about what those people were putting me through. They did not give a darn about anything. But pay your rent every month and follow the lease. The lease. They throw that on my face. The lease. So now I'm getting ready to end it. But I had to fill you guys in on everything that had happened over there at that apartment. Like, the apartment from hell. Okay? Alright? So, if you like my videos, I know I spewed a lot. I guess I needed to get that out, huh? Guess I should have wrote it down, huh? Wrote it in one of my journals. But anyway, let me tell you, everything that glitters is not gold, okay? Everything that glitters is not gold. Do your research. When you're moving into a place, do your research, do your background checks, whatever you gotta do. Just don't up and go somewhere and follow that intuition. If you feel like in your gut that it's not for you, then okay, go with that. Okay, like I should have did at the beginning. But I didn't. All that glitters is not gold. And everything, just because it looks good, doesn't mean that it's good inside. It could be full of rottenness in the inside. So that's my lesson. That's a lesson from my experience with the apartment, the nightmare apartment. All right, y'all. So drop those comments down below and subscribe to my channel. Come on, y'all. Subscribe to my channel. All right? I can't make these things up. I can't. I just can't. So, mad love to y'all, and I'll see you on my next video. Peace, y'all. Peace.